Now let's learn about the various vitamin requirements in infants. So what are vitamins? Vitamins are essential nutrients. So what are essential nutrients means? I hope you might have studied in the first module already, but just a quick recap. Essential nutrients are the one which are required by the body for optimal growth and development, but they cannot be synthesized by the body. Hence, we have to take it from the external sources. So, in this video, we will be covering about various important vitamins that are important for the infants like vitamin D, B12 and vitamin K. Let's look at the most important mineral for infants, that is vitamin B12. Infants require vitamin B12 for supporting brain development or for better brain and neurological development. Children or infants require good amount of B12 and they also require adequate amount of vitamin B12 for the production of healthy red blood cells. If the infants does not get adequate amount of vitamin B12 or if they are deficient on vitamin B12, it can lead to anemia and also it can impair the brain development, and in severe cases it can lead to permanent brain damage as well. Although the vitamin B12 deficiency is comparatively rare. In the age group of 0 to 6 months, infants depend solely on mother's milk for nutrition because the only food for the babies in the age group of 0 to 6 months is breast milk. If the mother meets her B12 requirements, then the infant will not be deficient on vitamin B12. For example, if the mother is vegan, and if she is not getting enough amount of vitamin B12 through her supplements, then her milk will also be deficient on vitamin B12, necessitating the supplementation. Infants breastfed by anemic mothers are also at a risk of developing vitamin B12 deficiency. So, for the infants in the age group of 6 to 12 months, they might require approximately 1.2 micrograms of B12 per day. The next most important mineral in infants that we'll be learning is vitamin D. Vitamin D is very important for babies to absorb good amount of calcium and phosphorus. So altogether, this combo of vitamin D, calcium and phosphorus, it helps in proper formation of bones, bone strength and better bone health. So because of vitamin D deficiency, the bone strength might be reduced, leading to softening and weakening of the bones and leading to a condition called as rickets in children. Again, the breast milk is the best source of nutrients for babies, but it will not be able to provide enough amount of vitamin D for the babies. Hence, all children need vitamin D supplementation beginning shortly after the birth. So if we look at the RDA of vitamin D in lactating mothers, it is around 600 international units per day, and in breastfed infants it is 400 international units per day, and it has to begin shortly after the birth. In formula fed infants also it's almost the same, 400 international units per day. They can either get it through the formula or the supplement or in the combination of both. The premature infants, dark skinned infants and those living in the northern or higher altitudes are at even higher risk of vitamin D deficiency, and therefore they may need up to 800 international units per day of vitamin D. Again, when it comes to the TUL, that is the tolerable upper limit of vitamin D, is around 4000 international units per day. Again, we can get a good amount of vitamin D from sunlight, right? But we should not be exposing the kids under 6 months of age to direct sunlight. That is not at all advisable. Hence, the supplementation of 400 international units per day is required. The next important vitamin that we'll be covering is vitamin K. Vitamin K is needed for the infants for the blood to clot normally and to stop bleeding. So babies are born with very small amounts of vitamin K stored in their bodies. They don't have huge storages of vitamin K in their body. And that poses a serious risk for the infants, putting them at a risk of serious bleeding problems known as vitamin K deficiency bleeding problems, and it can also lead to brain damage and death in severe cases. So hence, vitamin K supplementation is very, very important. So usually a single vitamin K shot, that is intramuscular injection or 1 IM injection, will be given immediately after birth to protect the baby from dangerous bleeding which can lead to brain damage and death. So the adequate intake of vitamin K in the age group of 0 to 6 months is around 2 micrograms per day. When it comes to the baby in the age group of 6 to 12 months, it is around 2.5 micrograms per day. The deficiency of vitamin K is more common in breastfed infants because of low vitamin K levels in human milk or breast milk. But the cow milk based formulas, they contain approximately 20 times more vitamin K than breast milk. So here, when it comes to the vitamin K deficiency risk, the breastfed infants are at higher risk of developing vitamin K deficiency compared to the babies that are fed on formula milk. And as I've already mentioned, many hospitals administer a vitamin K injection shortly after birth as a preventive measure, which can prevent the risk of dangerous bleeding, and as a result, the death and neurological damage can also be prevented. So here is the beautiful table that summarizes most of the macronutrients that we have covered till now. So we can see when it comes to the calcium, the requirement of calcium in infants is around 300 milligrams per day, and the requirement of iron in infants aging in between 6 to 12 months of age is around 3 milligrams per day. And when it comes to the zinc in the age group of 6 to 12 months, it is around 2.5 milligrams per day. And when it comes to the vitamin B12 in the age group of 0 to 6 months, this can be taken care of breast milk, but we also have to ensure that the mother is getting or incorporating enough amount of vitamin B12 into her diet. When it comes to the age group of 6 to 12 months, it is around 1.2 micrograms per day. And Regarding the vitamin D, the requirement in an infant is around 400 international units. When it comes to vitamin K, the requirement is around 2 microgram per day in the age group of 0 to 6 months and 2.5 micrograms per day in the age group of 6 to 12 months. So, is a supplementation required for these minerals and vitamins? Let's have a look at it. So, when it comes to the iron, the breastfed infants require approximately 1 milligram per kg per day by 4 to 6 months of age because the iron reserve starts slowly depleting. And we can try to get the iron preferably from the supplemental foods or iron fortified formulas for weaning or supplementing the breast milk. And with respect to the formula fed infants, the fortified formula, iron fortified formula can take care of the iron requirements. When it comes to the vitamin D, 400 international units per day of vitamin D should be given shortly after birth for all breastfed infants and those consuming less than 1000 ml of vitamin D fortified formula each day. When it comes to the vitamin K, the infants require the supplementation of vitamin K soon after birth in the form of a vitamin K injection, which is an IM shot.